One Ball State group has set up shop in Muncie, what they're doing to promote fashion.
Prices are on the rise and consumers are feeling the effects. What the Biden administration is doing to slow inflation.
A verdict has been reached in last year's Wisconsin parade attack, what this sentence means.
And it's midterm season at Ball State, what groups are doing to help relieve stress.
And tonight we're going to see those temperatures continue to drop.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Catherine Segal.
And I'm Alana Gaither. With Halloween just around the corner, many spend their time shopping for costumes, but others are shopping for vintage and secondhand clothing.
If you take a stroll down the village right off campus, you'll run into a recycled clothing pop-up shop hosted by Ball State's very own Fashion Merchandising Association. NewsLink Indiana's Avery Johnson gives us an inside look.
Only hosted once a year in the fall, Ball State's Fashion Merchandise Association puts together a pop-up shop full of secondhand and vintage clothing. FMA President Maureen Kirk says that she's excited to see the response from the community now that the shop has finally come together.
The response we've gotten today has been amazing. We've had, I think it was within the first 15 minutes, at least 30 people, and then we sold like a good amount within that time period too, which was really cool. And everybody keeps coming up to me and saying congrats and like, this looks so good, and it just warms my heart to see it all turn out so well.
Students are encouraged to donate their unwanted clothes throughout the semester in effort to promote recycling as well as showing support to the university organizations like FMA. Kirk says this is a great opportunity to bring something unique and exciting to the community.
I feel like the shop really provides a place for students during the week to kind of come together and see a bunch of students creating something that's really unique and that they might not be able to see anywhere else, honestly.
The FMA pop-up shop is the perfect place for fashion lovers to explore their style and take a dive into the thrifting side of buying clothes. Ball State student and fashion major Chris Navarro was eager to see what the shop had to offer.
I was ready to shop. I was excited to see people in the community all come together, shopping, expressing their love of fashion, and it's nice to see everybody donate and give back to the community around us.
In Muncie, Avery Johnson, NewsLink, Indiana.
The pop-up shop is located at 1611 West University Avenue and is open from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. October 26th through the 28th.
The Department of Homeland Security has outlined the main threats to this year's midterm elections. The head of Homeland Security shared his concerns about threats to cybersecurity and the physical security of election workers, along with the threat of misinformation and disinformation. He said Russia, Iran, and China are distributing false or inaccurate information to undermine the integrity of the election. He also highlighted recent threats election officials have faced. The Department of Homeland Security is working to provide training and assistance in giving election officials information and intelligence to help them prepare.
President Biden shared his goals for slowing down inflation and how the administration is taking steps to protect consumers. This comes as Americans struggle with rising costs. CNN Chris Wynn tells us more.
Today, my administration is announcing new actions to lower the cost of everyday living for American families, to put more money in the pockets of middle income and working class Americans, to hold big corporations accountable.
The Biden administration is now taking action across agencies to help cut down on so-called junk fees, defining them as designed either to confuse or deceive consumers or to take advantage of lock-in or other forms of situational market power.
These are junk fees. They're unfair and they hit marginalized Americans the hardest, especially low-income folks.
According to officials with the National Economic Council, the fees fall into 4 categories: mandatory fees that often hide the full price, surprise fees that consumers learn after purchase, exploitative or predatory fees, and fraudulent fees. The White House points to hidden charges and added fees on airline tickets, hotel bookings, and cable bills. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is issuing guidance on some banking fees.
We're taking enforcement actions, like one against a large bank for charging illegal overdraft fees, and customers will see hundreds of millions of dollars in refunds.
The new rulemaking process aims to make fees more transparent and comes with the midterms less than 2 weeks away.
This is an attempt to tell voters that they are trying to ease the pains of the pocketbook, because that's what Republicans have said over and over again.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
A verdict has been reached in last year's Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas parade attack.
A jury found Daryl Brooks guilty of 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide today. In November 2021, Brooks drove his SUV into a crowd at the parade, hitting 68 parade-goers. The 6 killed include several members of the, quote, Dancing Grannies and an 8-year-old boy. Dozens more were injured. Brooks also was convicted of 61 counts of recklessly endangering safety with the use of a dangerous weapon, 6 counts of fatal hit and run, and other charges.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Daryl E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information, dated this 26th day of October 2022, signed by the foreperson, juror number 11.
The trial was marked by his unusual decision to represent himself in court and his, quote, persistent disruptions and outlandish behavior.
Brooks faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison from the homicide convictions.
Now to a first look at weather.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one out there right now. As we can see, current conditions are 44 degrees with those winds pretty calm right now. And what cooled us down was those rains that we really needed from yesterday and into today. As we can see, Indianapolis got over an inch of rain. Muncie a lot lower with 0.47 inches. Now, what's coming up next is more sunny conditions for the next week, as well as cooler temperatures tonight and potential rain for Halloween on Monday.
Thank you, Dimitri. According to the UN, the world is still way off track in reducing global warming. Reports have found that catastrophic extreme weather events are already threatening the health and food security of people around the world. The UN said today that global warming will rise between 2.1 and 2.9 degrees Celsius. The report shows there is still much more work to be done to transition away from planet-warming fossil fuels, which are pushing global temperatures higher and triggering extreme weather. Experts say the latest numbers show that countries need to be more ambitious on their climate commitments.
As the university heads into the end of the semester, final exams are approaching. Stress can be getting high, but just taking a walk just might help you. I participated in today's stress walk to learn more.
Are you feeling stressed lately as you prepare for finals and just start to think about everything that you have coming up with due dates and deadlines? We are encouraging you to be more mindful as you walk.
We all know exams and due dates can be really stressful. The Counseling Center and University College joined together to promote student wellness. Student success coach Rachel Anderson shared why her and other coaches decided to promote how students could go from surviving to thriving.
We work with students who are blocked or feeling stuck or maybe not fulfilled in all the areas of their life. Or maybe they're just surviving, but we want them to go from surviving to thriving.
The Counseling Center and University College wants to help students in all areas, whether it's academically or socially. It's important to keep in mind a few things when taking your stress walk. And the Associate Dean of University College, Brian Gorman, has a few tips.
Be mindful of the stress that they're feeling. Be mindful if they're feeling anxious and the thoughts that they're having, if they're starting to feel overwhelmed, that there are things that you can do to alleviate that, including, just thinking about your thoughts and taking a nice walk outside, eating healthy, getting some exercise and that sort of thing.
To learn more, you can schedule an appointment through Navigate or appointment-based tutoring through the Learning Center.
Coming up, Halloween is just around the corner. What treats will hurt your wallet?
And holiday travel season is fast approaching. What problems airlines are facing?
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. This Halloween, houses passing out candy to trick-or-treaters should expect to spend a bit more money. According to a report from S&P Global Market Intelligence, the cost of chocolate and other candies are expected to rise by 14% compared to 2021. While the prices will be scary, it looks like Americans are not frightened by the increase. According to the National Retail Federation, consumers are still expected to spend about $500 million more on candy than last year.
And while prices of treats this year are on the rise, the size of candy products have been getting smaller and smaller due to shrinkflation. Shrinkflation is when manufacturers reduce the size of their products instead of increasing the price. Some candies affected by shrinkflation include a 2-pack of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups being lightened by 1/10 of an ounce, dark chocolate Hershey's Kisses weighing a couple ounces short, and a Cadbury milk chocolate bars being 10% lighter than before. Shrinkflation isn't the only thing affecting these sizes. In 2017, major candy companies joined together to reduce calorie counts for a health initiative.
A drug commonly used to treat bacterial infections in children is in short supply. 3 of the 4 top makers of the antibiotic amoxicillin are reporting low supply in the U.S. Amoxicillin is a popular drug used to treat ear and throat infections, and it comes in a variety of forms. Children generally take the liquid form, which is reportedly where most of the shortages are occurring. The U.S. is not the only one having amoxicillin shortages. Canada and Australia are as well. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says it's working with pharmaceutical companies to fix the problem.
If you have Pine Sol under your sink, you're going to want to listen up. Clorox is recalling 37 million bottles of Pine Sol that might have bacteria that could hurt people with compromised immune systems or with external medical devices. There aren't currently any reports of people getting sick, but 8 different kinds of Pine Sol are getting recalled. Pine Sol multi-surface cleaners in lemon scent, lavender scent, and sparkling wave are part of the recall. For more information, visit the Consumer Product Safety Commission website.
Leading into this holiday travel season, the federal government has been hearing a lot from flyers who are angry with airlines. The U.S. Department of Transportation reports it saw a spike in airline complaints in August. According to the department's data, it received more than 7,000 complaints from flyers, much more than it received before the pandemic. Most of the complaints dealt with cancellations, delays, or other concerns about the airline schedules. United Airlines had the most flight cancellations in August, with American Airlines close behind and Southwest in the number 3 spot.
Ford is putting the brakes on plans to develop fully autonomous vehicles. Today, Ford announced the driving tech company Argo AI will be shutting down. Ford partnered with the startup and Volkswagen to develop autonomous driving technology, but reported it lost $2.7 billion on its investment. Volkswagen also announced it was ending its interest in the company.
We saw that rain yesterday causing these cooling temperatures today. Well, all the details coming up next on my full forecast.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
on a deeper level.
Father,
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. We're looking at a live shot of campus, and it was a pretty gloomy day today. I definitely did not enjoy that rain that we had. It was cold, rain. They just do not go well together. I do not enjoy
I
that.
definitely enjoyed it. Well, the only part
You liked it, even with the cold? Or
yes, because I mainly ride the bus. and
Okay.
But the one part I did not like about today, because my hair kind of got wet, so I had to put a hat on. I have no hoodie or anything.
Yeah, I didn't have a hood either. I was not prepared for this rainy weather,
me neither.
and I'm really hoping that it does not come into my holiday or my holiday plans, my Halloween plans, because I want to be outside.
Same.
All right, let's look at weather with Dimitri. Are we gonna have that cold weather?
Yeah, so we have those cooler temperatures right now, and that was caused by those rains that we needed desperately, like I said. So we have observed rainfall here of 0.56 for the month of October. As I said yesterday and this morning, we saw 0.47 inches here in Muncie. So almost all of that rain that we got was from yesterday and this morning. That is far lower than what we normally see here in Muncie for October. As we can see, 2.39 inches is what we're used to seeing. So almost 2 inches less than what we're used to seeing in October for Muncie. Now, that rain's not going to continue, as we can see on this radar. Those clouds are moving out of there. Anything we see tonight, maybe a few clouds, like I said, but it's pretty much clear. As we can see, a little bit of something over here on the west of Muncie, west of Indiana. This isn't really going to bother us. We aren't expecting that to hit us, so the next week or so is going to be pretty clear here in Muncie. Now, those rains did cause those lower temperatures. As we can see, current temperature here in Muncie is 44 degrees, 47 there in Indianapolis, and even cooler there in Kokomo at 42 degrees. Now, today we did have a higher temperature than you might think as our high. As we can see, 63 degrees is our high today, and a little bit higher than our average high of 61 degrees. Now you might be thinking to yourself, it was really cold out there. It doesn't quite feel like 63 degrees. Now that's because this temperature was taken at 12 a.m. So as soon as we went from Tuesday to Wednesday, it was taken, so we had 63 degrees there at 12 a.m. So it really started to drop throughout the day. Now, that trend did continue all the way for the last 24 hours. We can see negative 19 degrees as compared to yesterday here in Muncie, minus 18 degrees there in Shelbyville, and then minus 15 there in Indianapolis. Now, this trend is going to continue into tonight, as we can see. For the next 8 hours, we see a temperature right now of 43 degrees, and it's going to continue to drop as we go throughout the night, and by 5 a.m., we're going to be in the 30s there at 38 degrees. Now, for tonight, it's going to drop just a little bit lower than the 38. As you can see, 37 degrees is our low. Those winds that were calm earlier, or calm right now, they're going to pick up quite a bit northwest there at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And it should be a pretty night out there. We shouldn't see lots of clouds, as I said. But yeah, so it's going to be a pretty beautiful night out there. But as we go into tomorrow, we're going to see that temperature of 37 degrees there at 8 a.m. And those clouds should stay out of the way for us pretty much all day tomorrow. We should see lots of sunshine tomorrow. And that's going to be the case all day. As we can see, 12 p.m., 47 degrees there. And then by 5 p.m., we are going to reach our eventual high of 55 degrees for tomorrow. Now, is this cool temperature going to continue? Probably not. As we can see, our first week of November, we are going to see cooler temperatures on the west side of the country, but when we come over to the Midwest, we are going to see above average temperatures here in Indiana and the Midwest for the next 6 to 10 days, right when we start our November. Now that's going to make sense as we look at our mid 7-day forecast. As we can see, Thursday is going to be 55 degrees, and the rest of the 7-day forecast is going to be in the 60s. As we see Friday, we're already at 63, staying in the 60s for our weekend, and then unfortunately we have a little bit of a chance of rain on our Halloween day of 30%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really, really want to get out there for Halloween, maybe trick or treat or something. Get some candy.
Well, and I know I've seen that there's going to be a lot of trunk or treats in Delaware County, so hopefully that good weather will prevail and we'll have no more rain.
Yes, honestly, I am so excited for this good weather because the last few Halloweens have just been snowing or raining. So I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, and it's not too cold. It's sitting there at 60.
Yeah, it's just right. It's just right.
That perfect fall weather.
Exactly.
Thank you, Dimitri. Now over to Andy with sports.
Thanks, guys. We check up on one local high school team preparing for the second round of sectionals, plus several Ball State athletes winning awards. All that and more after the break.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Andy Newman with sports. This Friday night, the Yorktown Tigers open up play in the second round of sectional football. Yorktown earning a 6-3 record during the regular season and lead the Hoosier Heritage Conference in yards per game as well as interceptions. Last Friday, the Tigers defeated Delta High School in a final score of 10-7 to move on to the sectional semis. They are set to face off against the Railroaders of Garrett High School. The Railroaders are a formidable foe, defeating their first-round opponent 38-14. Nevertheless, head coach Mike Wilhelm knows that being optimistic as they head into Friday's game is key.
It's going to be one game at a time for us. Obviously, that's a long way off to win a championship, but we have acknowledged that already in the off-season. We talked about what it takes to be a champion and to win a sectional championship, and this team is cognizant of that, and it's something we have to talk about because that's what this team's goal is.
High School at 5 p.m. this Friday. Heading over to the courts, Megan Wolanski of Ball State Women's Volleyball earns MAC West Division Setter of the Week this week. The selection marks the 7th career honor for Wolanski and her 3rd this season. The setter sits atop the MAC, totaling 151 assists and 12.58 assists per game set average, while Wolanski ranks 1st in the MAC and 3rd nationally with 987 total assists on the year. The sophomore helping lead the Cardinals to a 9-game win streak. Ball State and Wolanski will look to extend their streak into the double digits as they head to Bowling Green to take on the Falcons this Friday, with action set to start at 6 p.m. Things on the hardwood, the Mid-American Conference announces their men's basketball preseason coaches poll and preseason All-MAC teams today. The Cardinals picked to finish 4th in the Mid-American Conference this season. On the preseason All-MAC teams, sophomore Peyton Sparks earns a spot on the All-MAC first team. The reigning MAC freshman of the year averaged 13 points and 8 rebounds last season for Ball State. Sparks and the rest of the Cardinals will begin their regular season on November 7th against Earl Helm inside Worthen Arena. Taking things over to the pool, Ball State swimmer Peyton Kelly earns MAC Women's Swimmer of the Week. The freshman made her season debut last Saturday at the Indiana Intercollegiates. Her first place time of 23.45 seconds in the 50 free was the fastest time in the MAC last weekend. Kelly and the rest of the Cardinals look to make some noise this Friday when they face off against Eastern Illinois. That home meet is set to take place at 6 p.m. as well. Switching things over to the pitch, Ball State Soccer looks to wrap up their regular season tomorrow. The Cardinals set to take on MAC opponent, the Central Michigan Chippewas in Mount Pleasant. Ball State heads into the matchup 6-4-7 on the year and 5-1-4 in the MAC. On the flip side of the coin, the Chippewas 2-10-5 so far in the season and 1-5-4 in the MAC. The matchup is set for 3 p.m. as the Cardinals look to secure the #1 seed in the MAC tournament. And guys, all this talk about Ball State basketball, I'm just really excited to get out to a game so far this year. You guys plan on going to a game?
I definitely plan on going to a game. I wasn't able to make it to one last year, so.
Yeah, this is my first year, so I'm going to make it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Andy. After the break, we'll take a look at some Halloween activities happening on campus.
Plus a final look at weather next.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
NewsLink, Indiana. My name is Paris Enenful, and this is your campus coverage. Spiders, monsters, and even ghosts are all sure to send shivers down your spine this Halloween. Last night, Student Honors Council decided to celebrate by hosting their Forest of Fear event at the Ball Honors House. This haunted house was a completely free event for Ball State students. President of the SHC talks about all the creative freedoms that go into putting on an event like this.
Completely put on by the members and the executive team. We get to design it, we pick the name, we pick the rooms. We did a lot of crafting this year, we did a lot of our own costumes.
And though we never know what might be hiding behind those trees, we do know that SHC is already beginning the process for next year's event.
Thank you, Paris. Now let's get a final look at weather.
Yeah, as we see, we have that Thursday that's going to be the coldest day in the next 7 days at 55 degrees. Quickly going back into the 60s for the weekend with a high of 66 on that Saturday. Slight chance of rain on that Halloween day, as we can see 30% there, all the way back up to 69 there on Wednesday.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.